This was a study that InsideSales.com did. It was published in the Harvard Business Review. They called 15,000 unique internet leads and made over 100,000 call attempts over 3 years. And they have all of the data in this. Crazy amounts of information. It's really useful and vital. Because if this says, if they've got over 100,000 call attempts, and they say you should never call at this day and time, but you're doing that, you may want to get this. Again, CodyAskins.com/ebook. Okay? What it says is the best days to make contact, and I'm not going to go through it all, but statistically are Wednesday and Thursday. That surprised me. There's a 49% difference when it becomes Tuesday versus Thursday. Also, the best times to make contact, okay? The second best time to make a call is between 8 and 9 in the morning. The best, which kind of surprised me, but the best time to make a call is between 4 and 6 p.m. That did not surprise me. Okay, best time to call leads between 4 and 6 o'clock. That did not surprise me. That's my favorite time to call leads. If I had preferred calling times, by the way, if you're calling leads, it's evening, Saturday morning, Sunday late afternoon or evening. Okay, I believe Sundays, late afternoon, early evening are the best times to call leads. That's the best time to call leads, period. Most don't utilize it, but if you have leads and you paid money for them, you got to get in front of them. Okay, so that's the second piece. Third piece talks about response. Actually, let me go back to number 2 when it comes to best times to make contact. You have a 164% difference. 164% difference for qualifying a lead in early afternoon versus late afternoon. Late afternoon, you have a 164% higher chance of qualifying a lead. Based on that, none of us will probably ever call leads early afternoon ever again, which is good. Number 3, response time. Contacts made from first dials. You have a 400% decrease in the odds of qualifying a lead between 5 and 10 minutes. If you call within the first 5 minutes, you have a 400% chance, 400% higher chance versus waiting to 10 minutes. Speed to lead is super important, especially with digital, right? Google, etc., website leads, content. Speed to lead is crazy, crazy, crazy valuable. Best time to make contacts within 5 minutes, the sooner the better. Also persistence. Here's where a lot of agents fall off the wagon, okay? Persistence. Chances of making contact. You have about a 35% chance on the first call, and then which actually is high nowadays. I would say it's more like 15 or 20%. But then by the 6th call, you have a 90% chance of contact according to this study that was years ago, okay? Based on that, over 30% of leads are never contacted at all. That means we get a lead and we don't call it. It's happened to me too. I hate to admit it, but I'm sure it's happened to you as well. And you got to think, if you've got agents and you are giving them leads or you're buying them leads or you're co-opting them leads, 30% of their leads, they're literally flushing down the toilet. You take a whole year's worth of marketing budget, that's a lot of money. By just making a few more call attempts, sales reps can experience up to a 70% increase in contact rates. So here's the average call attempts by reps. First call, second call drops about 10%, third call drops about 30%, fourth call, you're under 10%, under 10% of reps ever go to the fourth call. Fifth call, 5%, sixth call, again, only 2 to 4% of reps ever make it to the 6th call, but the 6th call has a 90% chance of contact, which means we need to get to the 6th call when we're working digital leads. I remember years ago, I had a manager reach out to me, and this is one of the big reasons why I do what I do today. Okay, thank you, sir. 5 minutes. Yeah, thank you. I didn't even notice that, so thank you. I remember years ago, I had a manager reach out to me because I was having some success as an early agent, and they said, hey, we've got 2 agents up in northern Missouri. Their name's Greg and Hunter. They're really struggling. They're not making any sales. And I would like for you to come up and help them. Okay, it was like 4 or 5 hours away. I was selling myself, and I'm like, well, I don't know how I would help them other than I can physically come up and go door knocking with them. Okay, who's been cold door knocking, by the way? Not leads, like legit cold door knocking. Okay, you, sir, are also insane. Okay, but it works, right? And so I was doing that, and I went up and I drove up one morning or one night and door knocked the next day, and we door knocked for like probably 6-7 hours. And first door knock on the door, get in the house. And you could tell the agents that were with me were like, how did that happen? How did you just get in the door? Well, I mean, I just smiled and said what I say, and I got in. First door, make a sale. Second door, make a sale. Maybe third sale was later on. What happened is 5 sales in about 6-7 hours of cold door knocking. I left all the business with them, drove back to Springfield, Missouri, 4 or 5 hours that evening, and thought to myself, if I can ever do that again, if I ever get the chance to help another agent and do that again, I want to spend my rest of my life doing that. Because I got more joy and gratification and satisfaction out of helping them make money than when I personally made sales. Who can relate to that, by the way? Where you're like, dude, I just love helping others, whether it be beneficiaries, prospects, but also other agents, right? So for me, yeah, I was a good insurance agent, but I never wanted to just be a good insurance agent, right? Like a lot of you have IMOs, you have call centers, you're helping hundreds of agents or thousands of agents around the country, right? The people that help more agents and more beneficiaries are leaving a greater impact on the industry and the world and are influencing the generations ahead. There are hundreds of thousands of agents that are coming in waves in their 20s. And there's no doubt this is the best career on the planet Earth. I don't care if they're 112 or 12. Now, they can't get their license at 12, but they can intern in my office maybe, okay? But why do I say that? Because it's the hardest career on the planet, by the way, because 92% of insurance agents fail in the first 3 years. But there are more millionaires in the financial services and insurance industry than any other industry on the planet. Who realized that, by the way? More than real estate, more than tech, more than anything else. We are in the right industry, we're in the right place, and I hope you love it just as much as I do. Okay, I think I got, like 2 or 3 minutes, okay? Let me take maybe one question really quick. Any questions? Okay, yes, ma'am.
What's the hardest objection you ever had to overcome?
That's a great question. So I remember sitting in my office years ago, and one of the objections I got was just stick it in the mail, right? Who else has got that, by the way? Okay, just stick it in the mail. I said something wild, and it worked, and and now I train on it, and we still use it today. Here's what it is. If you're on the phone, it's like, hey, just stick it in the mail. Perfect. I'd be glad to. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll be out there tomorrow. Why don't I mail it in person? Okay. So do you think I should drop it off and mail it in person in the morning or in the afternoon? Which is better for you? And they're like, well, can't you just stick it in the mail? Well, I need to prove that it's you and actually get you the information. That's my job. So I'll be swinging through and I can just mail it in person at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Will that work for you? Fine. That'll work. And then made a sale. And I'm like, the great question, by the way, and I'm like, dang, dude, why am I not doing that more often? We give up on objections far too easy. 95% of objections are made up. They don't mean it. I don't believe there's any objections they mean until the very end of the call, by the way. If you're trying to make a phone sale, that's different, okay? Yes, sir. Last one.
Cody, what's the single most important thing you've done in your business that's grown your business?
Single most important thing I've done in my business is to add operational help and people and build teams, right? We have over 100 staff in Springfield, Missouri amongst all of our companies. And I can tell you, you can't do anything big alone. We'll do $13 million in revenue this year amongst all of our companies. And that's because I'm surrounding myself with people that are better than me. Real quick, do I have 60 seconds? I was at a retreat with a gentleman that makes $160 million a year. And I was up late at night with him, and he's whiteboarding our companies, and he's like, okay, who does this? Me. Who does this? Me. Who does this? Me. Who does this? Me. He said, that's your problem. He said, you can't do anything big alone. He said, why are you doing everything in your company? A lot of people are, by the way. Most six-figure earners are doing everything by themselves. He said, why do you do everything? Because I'm better than anybody else at it. He's like, well, number one, your ego's getting in the way. And number two, he said, you want people in your business that are better at certain jobs and tasks than you are. So if you don't have people, add people, scale your company. Thank you for being here and enjoy the rest of the MedSub conference. And we'll see you at 8% Nation in July of 2022. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're gonna love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. What would you say to a struggling agent that's considering quitting, that they may end up a part of 92%?
You know the whole thing I was telling you about that one guy named Hunter whose dad, my mom told him he's a shy guy. One of the people I was working with is a restaurant owner.